regular council meeting to order. City Hall, October 7th, 7 o'clock p.m. Any additions to the agenda? I have one. We need to add ordinance number 1101-25.
Where do you want to add it to?
Oh, just
New business.
new business.
I'd make a motion to add the ordinance number 1101-25 to new business.
Got a motion on the table by Aaron Gleason. Here, second.
Second.
Second by Aaron Raines. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0. Got some people here. Any citizen comments?
We have a representative from Midwest Energy that would like to visit with you guys about the Port Authority.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Welcome.
this is Cody and Aaron Romy, which is the engineer for the Midwest, will be joining us via Zoom or Teams.
Cody, you want to sit up here at the table? You can, or
Yeah, you can take
whatever
my
you want to do.
Let's pull up a chair.
Wherever's comfortable to talk to the other guy. I've met with Cody in the past.
Aaron,
a couple
can you meet
weeks
me?
ago.
Or can you hear me? Aaron, can you hear me? I can just call him on the phone here and you can explain it. I can pull up the map that you can make it for.
Can you hear us?
Hey, Cody.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, Aaron, I'm gonna turn this around so everybody on the table here can see. You just want to pull up the, that map right away here, or what do you wanna do? How do you wanna do this? Can't hear you. You're on mute. He's on mute.
Yeah, if you guys want to go ahead and start, let me know what you want to do. I'll walk through, answer any questions, talk about the upstream impacts, and we can do maybe the Sylvan, the Singapore,
Okay.
City.
Alright.
Is the volume for him as high as you can put it? Okay.
Maybe that'll kick off here in a second.
Oh,
Alright, Aaron, you still there?
Yep, we're good.
Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna try to pull up that. Hello. I'm gonna try to pull up that map and try to do this at the same time, alright? So bear with me.
Okay.
So that's the map that we pulled up the other day. So, like we had talked, Aaron, this here by the railroad here, this right here is
Oh, I'm not seeing your screen.
Gotcha. I gotcha.
Share your screen. Share.
Yep, yep.
And honestly, they're good.
Okay. All right. So what's going on here, Aaron? Like I explained to you the other day, is Port Authority's coming in and they're the power that they're wanting there on this corner, right in here,
Yep.
is that territory right there, like we had talked about, is all city of St. John municipal territory. And they want to know what their options are as far as how to serve that load.
Okay, so I guess it's a question I'll ask to start out. Do you guys have an indication from the Port Authority what size of load they are wanting you guys to serve?
1 meg to start out.
1 meg to start out.
Possibly
1 meg,
up to 10,
okay.
Possibly up to 10.
So I did a couple things, and we have,
Aaron,
I looked, Sorry.
Curtis here, the
City.
city electrician or takes care of the,
I know Curtis.
okay.
Yeah.
So he just said up to 10 meg.
I think there's a little caveat there, is that where the first phase of their rail project is in Ninisquah's territory. So
Okay.
their proposal that Ninisquah, what they came to us and asked was, they would like for Ninisquah to put on our territory a substation that's capable of 5 to 10 megawatts to serve all businesses, and they were asking if we would be willing to relinquish our utility right for that tract of ground. So if we were able to serve the load, it wouldn't be 5 to 10 because we don't have the rights to the first phase of the project. So if it turns out that we can serve some of their project load, it would be only for what's in that tract of ground, which wouldn't be the 5 to 10. I don't know what it would be, but yeah, just a little.
Well, and I'll say, we've ran into some similar circumstances, and just from a historic standpoint, territory boundaries for what I would call the same load is not uncommon. We've dealt with this before, where we have an adjacent territory that has a portion of a facility load. In some cases, you can do a territory swap. In the city of St. John, it's a little bit more difficult, but because the territory is what it is, it's the city, right? I would just say, for a growth opportunity like this, I think the wholesale supply, that's one thing. We can accommodate that. The transformer size, if we need to put a bigger transformer in, there's a mechanism for us, to facilitate that. If they're wanting to put a substation, probably I'm assuming it's going to come off our 34.5 over, whether it's Ninisquah load or the city of St. John load, it's probably if it was our territory, we would want to retain that growth opportunity and the ability to serve that load because it's a revenue generator. And hopefully it offsets some of the participants or some of the citizens in town with the margins that you would make off serving that load. Now, my assumption is, like you said, the first phase, the lion's share of that load is going to be in Ninisquah's territory. I'm sure Ninisquah would want that territory. And it's entirely up to the city of St. John if they want to succeed it. All I can say is if we need to help facilitate the wholesale power supply and the transmission service to serve that load, we could do that. That's not an issue. It really is going to, reside with the city. In a lot of cases, when we have new load interconnections like this, we directly assign those charges to that load. They pay for the distribution facilities. They pay for any line upgrades associated with that. Because the last thing you want is you don't want that load to become stranded. If the load doesn't manifest, then you're saddled with the upfront expense of building those lines. The power supply issue, I know you guys have behind the meter generation that you satisfy a lot of your capacity needs with. There's the ability to procure capacity through the market. We can buy capacity on your behalf to facilitate the load, and then the market, of course, is where we bifurcate and settle that through your invoice. If there's a second delivery point, say it doesn't come off the St. John sub or the existing St. John City sub, we could build over to a new substation, I assume. And with a wholesale distribution tariff that we have, we would maintain those facilities for a charge per kW, much like we do on the transmission side. So there's things to do if you're nervous about, maintaining another substation. There's things that we can do through what we're rolling out through a wholesale distribution charge. Because right now the city of St. John's transformer, for example, Midwest Energy owns that. We've maintained it for years, and if you remember, some of you guys may remember this, through the old power supply agreements, that used to be embedded in those charges. We don't have a charge for that facility right now. So that's something that we're looking to roll out through a wholesale distribution charge for the substation transformer. That means if the transformer would blow, Midwest Energy would replace it. It would be in line basically at a cost of service. So I think there are options. I would, if I'm you, I'm probably considering how we serve that. It's not uncommon, like I said, to have a facility with multiple electric service providers because of the retail service territories that are put out by the KCC. You have a meter to serve one side of the road, a meter to serve the other side of the road, and it serves those facilities. That is a decision that you guys will have to make as a city if you're willing to succeed that territory. But it is, when it's gone, it's gone. I mean, and that's, there are ways to get around that where you do a territory swap, but in this case, it's a little bit more difficult, I think, since it's not a large territory. I mean, it's basically confined to the city limits and maybe a little bit beyond on some of that load that you guys serve. So it's really, what do you swap out? That's just my take on it. That's typically what we have done. What I can tell you is, the transmission and the power supply needs, we can facilitate that.
What, Aaron, are you really familiar with the system in our area? Do you know what kind of upgrades would our system need to serve? Let's say there's 2 meg of load in that corner of that lot. Like, are we close to being able to serve that, or
Yeah,
is?
so 2 megawatts of load. I mean, there's two options really. You come out of your existing substation with 2400, or if there's really going to be that magnitude of load, I don't know. I don't know this, but I'm assuming Nenasko would tie to our 34.5 because I don't know if there's anything in that area that would facilitate that, which would be the same, 34.5 system that serves the city, and it becomes essentially another meter point for the city, where we, basically we gross that up into your invoice, charge you for that for the wholesale power, you turn around and sell it to the retail account. 10 megawatts, we have not had a request from Nenasko, so I don't know if they are planning on utilizing our system to serve that load. I don't know what stages this project is, and maybe they're trying to figure out if it's, part of it, if it's a whole thing, what the magnitude is. But we would have to do a request for interconnection, get it studied through for that magnitude if it was on our system and anyone's system, get it studied through the Southwest Power Pool, and those are things that we have done for other cities as well. So I mean, and honestly, that's what our job is as your wholesale provider, to help you guide you through some of that stuff. I mean, there's a market service fee that we charge you on your bill. That's part of what we're willing to facilitate for you guys. So, like I said, it's not unprecedented. I think it really depends upon the magnitude of the load to the north and how much would be to the south of that road.
Yeah, I don't know for sure, but I have a feeling that it wouldn't be on our territory for a while. That's what I kind of gathered, because they're building their first loop on Nenasko territory. So I could be wrong there, but that's kind of what I gathered from the Port Authority last meeting. My other question is, if the Port, I don't know this for sure, but if the Port Authority is using grant funds and able to subsidize the install of that substation so that it's not on the industry's building, like you had mentioned, if we did that, it would be common to charge it to the industry that's going to use the power. If the Port Authority is able to do that in order to subsidize the electric rate, to incentivize companies to come in and build here and not elsewhere, the city would only be competitive if it could do the same. So what, I mean, ballpark number, are we talking $500,000 or are we talking 10 million in order to do the upgrades to have the power to serve a load there?
I would say this without knowing the full magnitude of what load you're needing to serve. I can't really answer that. If it's 500 kW, you know, the existing substation and the 2400 line out of your substation, I mean, would be able to serve that. Now, cost estimates, that's not my game.
Yeah.
I will just say, I mean, it doesn't take much anymore. I mean, a transformer, you know, 34.5 service. I mean, Cody would have a better idea on what line miles are. I don't think we would be prepared to say, here's what we think it's going to be, because eventually I'll put my foot in my mouth from an estimate standpoint,
Sure.
because it's always either higher or lower than what you think. I would just say, you know, if the Port Authority can subsidize it through grants and you get grant money to do that, the cost assignment, what we have always traditionally done, because you don't want to have a stranded asset that you have your existing customers pay for, and then if the load doesn't manifest, you don't see the margins off of that load to make sure you regain your initial investment. So we have the initial cost for that, we have always directly assigned. And then, of course, you know, anything that goes wrong with it, if a transformer fails or if the line goes down or something like that, those costs then become the cost of the utility. But the upfront CapEx is something that has always traditionally been directly assigned.
Sure.
And then you also have the upstream impacts of the ability to serve the additional load, making sure you have capacity in the market. But again, those are things, you know, that we can help facilitate. And I think you just need to make sure your rate design is consistent with your upstream costs, much like you're doing now. You know, the cost that you know, the bill that you get from Midwest Energy is a wholesale bill. And then you have the retail bill to retain your margins for your distribution system and otherwise.
Let me ask you this. So as far as the Port Authority coming to ask us to give them this piece of land, was that premature on our part if there's a protocol on your end dealing with this that they may have not known about?
Well,
I'm just trying to figure this out.
Remember, the territory, that's not really a Midwest Energy issue. What I'm saying, I don't know if it was premature to ask without knowing if there's going to be load located there. Perhaps, I don't know.
Well, wouldn't that be something they would need to know before they came to us? It seems like to me, it's just like, you can't answer some questions because we don't have the information, because we weren't given the information. So I'm just wondering if we should just let the Port Authority talk to you guys and go through the standard
here's where I would
protocol.
say that's not for us to do because it's not our retail service territory.
Oh, okay.
What I would say, if I was in your guys' shoes, I would ask, okay, what kind of load are we looking at? Where is it located? You know, what's your initial phase 1, phase 2, phase 3? What are your electrical needs? And I would definitely do that before I was willing to succeed any territory.
What was the last point you made after kind of load, location,
I would
phase 1, 2, 3?
understand what the needs are before I would succeed any territory. But that's a decision entirely up to the city. I mean, if it's something the city doesn't want to deal with and they want to work something out with Nenasko, by all means, I mean, move forward with that. I think the main premise that if you're concerned about the upstream capacity impacts and things of that nature from a wholesale side, we can help you through that. And more than likely, if they're wanting to put a substation, if they're needing to put a substation over there, if it comes off our 34.5 system, there's a good chance that we would either build that, potentially own it. Midwest Energy as a transmission owner in that area, because 34.5 is considered transmission. I don't know if that's what Nenasko's plans are. They may plan to serve it from somewhere else. I don't know. So I'm not aware of a request. They may have put a request in, but I'm not aware of it.
Did you hear that, Aaron?
What was that?
Curtis said that he had heard that Nenasko was planning on coming off Stoneflower 115.
Okay, and for that size load, if it's 10 to 11 megawatts, that's possible.
Yeah, and I guess for the council, I had a chance to talk to the KCC's chief engineer and kind of picked his ear about the territory swap because I wasn't familiar with it. And he said that the electric utility in the state of Kansas is governed quite differently than the gas utility, in that the electric utility, there can only be one servicer on your piece of ground, where in gas you can kind of have multiple servicers, but it's very strict by statute that you have one versus the other. He also said that as far as the KCC is concerned, they need to be involved in the swap, but it's just forms that if two agreeing parties come to the KCC and they want to swap or they want to give up territory, the KCC is not going to bother us or bother them. That they just need forms to actually complete the transaction. But yeah. So I know at last meeting I brought up, I don't know if the KCC should be involved or if it has to go through proceedings or anything. It sounds like it doesn't if we did decide to do that.
I think, yeah, the territory transfer, I think if you guys make that decision, I think that's a formality. It's a very streamlined process. If you want to preserve your territory and serve the load, you know, hey, for all intents and purposes, it could come off that same 115 kV source if they're planning on building for that kind of load of expansion. That's very possible as well.
Meaning that we would have an agreement with Sunflower as well as Nenasko, or what do you mean by that?
Well, so if it was in your service territory and you were wanting to serve it, and we continued to be your wholesale service provider, we would schedule the energy and we would do the capacity much like we're doing right now. The only difference is Sunflower would be the transmission provider, to where you would have a transmission rate predicated on your load ratio share that you pay Sunflower instead of Midwest Energy. It's open access. That, you know, whether or not it's on Midwest system, Sunflower system, I mean, I'm impartial. That doesn't matter. The rates are pretty consistent. I mean, I don't imagine there's a whole lot of difference in transmission rates there. But the way the market works, it's open access. So whether it's on Sunflower system, our system, if you continue to utilize Midwest Energy for your wholesale provider, we would roll that into another meter point, you know, assign you the transmission cost, which is just a pass-through cost. There's no markup on the transmission. We just assign that directly to you guys through a pass-through through the Southwest Power Pool. And then the wholesale energy, much like we're doing right now, remains consistent with the contract parameters that we have established already. I will say, if you have two different loads dependent upon, you know, an agreement that you can work out with the distribution provider, if you utilize the same transformer, for example, there may need to be another transformer for the city of St. John versus Nenasko, or you can work something out with the distribution rate with the wholesale provider to preserve your territory and serve the load there. Whether that's Nenasko, you know, if Nenasko would end up owning the transformer, or if St. John, it depends what you guys work out there. But there's ways to facilitate it. I think if you guys retain it, you know, you can succeed it too. I think there's options. I would just, you know, anytime you relinquish property, sometimes you may relinquish an opportunity, and that's kind of the way we've approached it.
Sure.
And really, the main reason, you know, when Cody had mentioned this to me, I mean, I just want to let you guys know, if there's things that you need from us upstream, whether it's power supply procurement, wholesale information, or just, you know, how does this work, feel free to call. I mean, we'll try to help you and assist you as we can. I really don't want to get in the middle of whether or not you should swap the territory or not. That's really not for us to decide. That would be something you'd want to work out for Nenasko. But if you end up deciding to serve the load, by all means, engage us, and we'll try to do what we can to provide any information or any guidance that makes sense to do that.
Sure. What's the current wholesale rate for transmission? Do you know, per kilowatt?
Oh, on a per kW, it's billed on a 12 CP. That's kind of a loaded question.
Okay.
But God, I'd have to go look at. I'd have to go look. Our revenue department, just doing some quick math in my head, I want to say it's per megawatt And remember, this is an average. So if your average load at the city of St. John is, let's just say 2 megawatts over the course of a year, my guess is that's probably $120,000 per year in transmission costs. The easiest way to look at it is to look at your bill, and that transmission line item, it's clear on there. It'll say transmission costs. I don't know what that value is, but my guess is if you multiply that times 12, it's probably going to be pretty close to that 120,000 a year. Don't hold me to that. I hate doing stuff from the hip, but I'm
Sure.
pretty sure that's what it is.
Sure.
And what we do there, you guys actually have your individual NITS agreement with SPP. We just act as your agent, so that is whatever is on SPP's invoice is what shows up on your bill. And we did that intentionally to be transparent in the charges that we're charging the city of St. John and all of our cities, because all of our cities right now that we currently serve have the same contract parameters. And when we get together, it's just nice because everybody's under the same terms, and we can talk open and freely about what's going on there.
Well, I don't have any questions. I think we should table it, discuss it.
I mean,
Feel the same way?
Yeah, I think that's all the questions I have for you, Aaron and Cody.
Well, I appreciate the time, and like I said, if there's something that comes up in that you feel free to call. I mean, hit Cody up or feel free to give me a call. And I know we need to get together, and I planned on having a fall meeting just to go over what happened this summer. We kind of do that once a year, and we're going to plan on doing something here this fall.
Well, thank you for your time.
Appreciate it.
Definitely.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
All right, Aaron.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Cody, thank you.
Yep, you bet. We'll see you. I'll just throw this out there so you kind of ask about cost, so I can give a little bit of. I don't like doing this from the hip either, but like for 3-phase, which is what that would be, 2-watt would probably be a similar size wire you guys have to run out there from the city. Per mile, you're probably looking at about $140,000 a mile, give or take. With heavy construction is what we would call that. So. As far as, he was saying something about substation. I mean, we just built one down at, between Turon and, Langdon, and it was $7.5 million. And it would be, I think it was a 7 MBA, so it's a little bigger than what he's asking. So.
I really think the council ought to really think about not getting rid of our territory, honestly.
Well, I was just gonna ask, Danny, have you been in situations like this before with your other municipalities? Have you have any?
I haven't, but also with me representing Enniscott.
Oh, I forgot about that. Okay. Well, I think if we can make some revenue off it in the future, I'm with you on hesitation to.
I think we ought to
get
put
rid
their
of it.
monkey on the Port Authority and let them build a subsection that come off of our property, on our territory. We get West Plains to help us and produce some power. Might as well make some money for City of St. John.
I mean, what's the next phase? We just get with hiring another attorney to help us through this, since Danny can't help us, or?
I think we need to decide first whether we want to
Okay.
keep it, we want to give them that little section, or give them the whole domain. Once you decide that, then we need to probably find another attorney to look at the legality of it. I have talked to Greg Wright a little bit about this whole situation, since he's going over all about rates and stuff like that. He's gonna talk to the director of Port Authority just to get some more information, and I'm hoping maybe he could share some of his opinion just to see what his thought is before we move forward.
So we'll just table it then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we just add it to old business so that
That's fine.
Do you want us to, do you wanna help us find someone else that can help us with this, or do we need to just do that on our own?
I think I talked to Pam a little bit about this. There's Brandon Riches out of Kingman. He's the county counselor there, prosecutor there. Then he represents the city of Kiowa, I think Pretty Prairie, Sharon, another one over in Sedgwick, maybe Cheney, maybe not Cheney, or another
Cody?
city over there. He's willing to help out if need be. I trust Brandon. He said he'd bill 200 an hour is where he's at on everything. He does, like I said, he does a lot of county and municipal stuff.
Does Midwest have anybody?
I check with that, I don't know, I forgot to ask. I don't, that's way above my head, so yeah.
might be a conflict of interest for their
Could be, I don't
attorneys,
know.
Yeah,
just in general.
possibly.
Let's move on.
We're gonna table action, put it under old business, Midwest Port Authority. Got that?
Okay,
Thank
you. Thanks, Cody.
Thank you, Cody.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
See you guys.
I guess we go back, we got ahead of the card here. Is there any citizen comments? We need to show there's no citizen comments at this time. I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes of regular council meeting September the 16th, 2025.
Make a motion to approve regular council meeting minutes September 16th, 2025.
Second.
We've got a motion on the table by Mark Bryan, a second by Aaron Raines. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0. I'd entertain an appropriation ordinance 100725 AP in the amount of $216,271.40.
I make a motion to approve appropriation ordinance number 100725 AP in the amount of $216,271.40.
Second.
Motion on the table and motion by Mark Bryan, second by Aaron Raines. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0. Entertain a motion for Text My Government for $2,600. If we
Make
have
a
any-
motion to approve Text My Gov for the amount of $2,600, 0 cents.
Motion on the table by Aaron Raines. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mark Bryant. Any more discussion?
You look like you have a question.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0. Department heads, electric department, Curtis.
Just trying to get things ready for Christmas and full maintenance on everything.
Are you gonna tell them about the meeting with the that you met out there with them?
All was out there too.
Council wasn't.
Yeah,
No,
me and
it's-
Curtis had a meeting with
They,
Cody.
They were just projecting they were coming off the Sunflowers 115 with a 10 meg sub, pretty similar to what they're doing at the dairy down by Lewis. And giving us a meter point if we were to give up territory there. I've
If
never
we-
seen anything, never seen anything set in stone, so I don't have an idea of how much we'd need for rain sub to supply that area. If there's any business or anything coming in.
You're talking about just that little 400
We're
by
just-
400
yeah, just giving up-
and not the
giving
whole
up
domain.
Just basically service area like that 200 by 400 or 400 by 400.
And
That's
it,
what they're wanting. And they give us, they put the sub in, they pay for the sub and give us a meter point. They supply whatever's in, that goes in there.
okay.
Supply the other area outside of the
Yeah.
400 by
Well,
400.
So
Whatever
that would
that
be
you-
the trade, is that they're willing to give us a meter so that we can be the supplier of that corner.
We'd be able to supply that area, but they'd supply the Port Authority across the road.
Okay. And that's coming from the Port Authority or NISCA or?
Nansco, that's from Robert, Nansco.
Gotcha.
The director did call yesterday and wanting to sit down with like Curtis and I and maybe Greg Wright just to see what we could do, what the port could do as far as the city making revenue off of the port. Obviously, we can't charge the regular commercial rate that we charge, you know, businesses here, because that's no way they're going to be able to make revenue of their own. So she wanted to sit down, but I told her that I wanted to wait and to see which direction as far as like the council wants to go. If you know, if you all like, let's just be done with it, sign the domain over it, and I don't want to sit through that meeting. But it sounded like you guys wanting to look at different options, so we'll schedule that meeting. I don't know when that would be because Greg is super busy, to see what a possibility or maybe like how many cents we can get out of, you know, certain amount of kilowatt that they generate. I don't know, but
Yeah, I'd be curious what, because we'd have to rewrite our ordinance for how we charge rates, right?
Right.
It would have to have a separate,
yeah, it
you
has
know,
to be.
wholesale load or transmission load or
Right.
something defining what is served off of that.
Right.
That's separate. Yeah, I'd be interested to know what Greg said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll schedule that, and if you guys wanted to be in on it, then we might have to call a special meeting. It might be beneficial for you guys to attend those meetings just for your own information, and you'll have more questions than I would have, you know. So, once we narrow the dates down, we can,
Is this just a discovery meeting? I mean, so you don't have to make, you can't, but I wouldn't feel any pressure to make any agreement to anything
no.
until we get our due diligence done.
Right, yeah, no, and they're not pressuring us to say yes or no. I wanna make sure that we all explore all of our options,
Yeah,
so,
well, 2 people can only attend if it's not here,
yeah, but,
so.
yeah, that's fine, however you guys wanna handle it. I just think that the more the better, cause like I said, you know, you might look at something different than I, and I wouldn't have never thought of some of the questions that you might have, so.
I think a special meeting, to have all of us in one room and to ask whatever questions we got would probably be, in my opinion, the best solution on that, to look at it. So whether the rest of the council is in agreement, that's up to council, so.
It might be worth, I mean, no agreement would be made before the council could
Right.
meet on it. It might be worth just having Greg and yourself, Curtis, to meet with the Port Authority or with Nenasko, however it needs to be, to kind of get a real good grasp of what's gonna happen there, talk through some of those particulars, and then present to us as a council. Because I guess my only fear there is that if it's a very detail oriented meeting, that it's gonna end up being Curtis, Greg, and the Port Authority and Nenasko really talking, maybe above our level, and it needs to be a 2-hour meeting, and we're just gonna sit here and listen and not really understand everything that's happening, when it might be better to have that meeting, the 4 of them hashing stuff out, and then have Greg present to us the things that where we as a city could make money, or if he just says, hey, you're gonna make pennies and it's gonna be a headache. And if that's the answer, then that's the answer. But that's my opinion. If you guys disagree, then we can sit through
No,
it too.
that sounds good. I mean,
Good
option.
yeah, it's a good option.
Okay.
How do you feel about it, Sarah?
We'll let you know, so.
I'm fine with that.
Guess we all agree that's what
Yeah,
we're asking
I'll
you
let
would do.
Any more discussion, Curtis? Anything else?
Nope.
Moving on. Water and sewer, Jason, report?
Yeah, I found out that, here the other day that our, Hawk machine, the CL-17 out there at the nitrate plant is obsolete. what's been obsolete since last year, and they're running out of parts to work on it. And so I found out, so I got a hold of a lady there at Hawk Company, and she had sent me out a quote for a replacement on that, and it looks like this. You guys got it in your packet, and that's what it's going to cost to get it replaced. And they're going to no longer work on this one as of next year in March. And so the lady told me, she said that she had sent me out a quote, and they're giving 20% off of the price of this one until next week. So after that, it's gonna take off the 20%, so I said, well, just shoot it to me, I'll throw it in front of the council and see what they wanna do about it, and then if they wanna wait till around the first of the year to get it, or go from there, then I figured I'd just throw it out in front of you while they have the 20% off of it, and go from there. But what that CL17 does, this tells me what the chlorine is going into the system, or water, and it's just a good indicator of letting us know that the chlorine is going into our water.
So what happens when they're gonna stop working on it, is that what you said?
Yeah, they won't have the parts to work on it.
Okay, so how long will this opportunity put us in the future before we're gonna have to possibly buy a
I
new one?
imagine another 12 years.
You think so?
14
Roughly,
years,
how long
probably.
ago? Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking so.
And our current one is working or it's not working?
It's working now, yes. Yeah.
How often have you had to change parts of it?
Pretty much every time they come, but it is the tubing that goes into the machine and stuff like that. They will no longer be able to get that. So when that starts deteriorating, then we just won't have a part for it, and it won't work anymore.
Sure.
So would you just put this one on the shelf until we need it, or
Yes,
Okay.
because then
what's the shelf life on it?
for I suppose a long time.
How
I mean,
long-
because it's plastic. I mean, it's just it's a machine
Okay.
that we will have to mount and put together and hook it up to the 120. But I will not do that until he gets ready to come in March after we get ready for our service agreement to come back up again.
So do you think maybe March this might happen, or until it breaks that we put this new part on?
Well, this is a whole new machine.
Oh, yeah, the whole
Yeah, the
machine.
machine. It's like I said, if we buy it now for the 20% off, then I will store it out there, leave it out there, and then get ready to put it up right before he gets here in March.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
This includes taxes, right? Or we need to include taxes.
Yeah, you need to include taxes.
I'd make a motion to approve the purchase of the CL17 SC chlorine analyzer from Hawk in an amount not to exceed $7,000.
Second.
Motion on the table by,
Aaron, Lisa.
Gleason, second by Mark Bryant. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0.
Other than that, we're just trying to get stuff like first, trying to get stuff caught up. Alleys, streets, so that's all I have.
Police Chief Mike?
I've got a few things. First off, I'll be gone for training for a week next month, and then December 1st, I'll be gone for 2 weeks for a narcotics investigation class. Greg will be going to some trainings, probably in the next couple months. We did have one guy reach out that's interested. He's gonna get with me and discuss the job. So hopefully there's a potential hire there.
In the near future, is this gonna take place, or?
I'm just waiting on him.
Okay.
He's busy, so he wanted to meet with me on a weekend, which is fine with me.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just waiting for him to get a weekend free that he can come down and visit with me. So
Sounds good.
hopefully, if he's interested, we'll. Also, the upstairs needs some maintenance done. We have a ceiling in the bathroom that's fallen in. The carpet is ripped. I'm gonna start having some training with outside agencies coming in, and I kinda like to get some of that cleaned up so it doesn't look so bad. I mean, I think every room up there has a rip across the carpet. So I'd like to get somebody to give us a quote to see what maybe replacing that would be, and then fixing the bathroom ceiling.
How old is it, the carpet, you know? Old?
Oh, I'm gonna say 60. I don't know. I think it's been up there for.
It's the same carpet that was down here
Yeah.
before we replaced it.
But when I vacuum up there, it just, I mean, you can't, there's areas you can't vacuum because it just is ripped up. I mean, there's, started on one side and goes clear across the other side of the rim, so.
Cheaper to put flooring like this, or do you need carpet? I'm just,
I don't know without getting a quote, but
Yeah, I don't know what would be.
could be like
I mean, either way, it doesn't matter to me. Just something flooring wise
presentable.
that's presentable.
Yeah, get some.
Get some
quotes.
estimates.
Yeah.
So,
The Catholic Church, we just did the carpet. We had quotes from Abbey and Miller's of Claflin. So those are two places you can start. I'm sure there's other places too, but those were the places we got quotes from. So.
Okay.
You get somewhere to get the money, Pam, if they decide to do it?
it's just depending on how much. Yeah.
Okay.
If it's yeah.
well, let me
it's all
get quotes first.
all
and then-
depends.
Yeah.
I'm just
Oh, I-
thinking, is there a way you could do one room if the carpet's good enough, and then just sort of, if it's like this type of flooring, you can just have it on a schedule. But you can take care of all that. You're good at that. Okay. I'll stay in my lane.
And I believe that.
Council got any questions for Mike? Anything on the far end of it?
Nope. I don't think so, Brian.
Moving on, city clerk, Pam.
Do you guys have any question for me as far as my reports go?
There's something in there that Mike was gonna talk about the parking at the library.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's under new business.
Oh, sorry.
No, but if we can talk about it now if you want to. So, like I said, the superintendent from the school approached us and asking about the angle parking in front of the library and not one way. So, you know, I don't know if you were here yet, probably not, when we talked about it last time. There is a statute preventing angle parking on a one-way road, but like I said, you guys can bypass that if you pass an ordinance.
Was there a request to paint new lines or what?
Yeah, so to create more stalls plus painting line, because right now they're all illegally parked when they angle park like that, because they can't do that. You can only parallel park in one-way street, according to that statute. So.
Been writing tickets? Oh.
No.
Let's say is it?
No.
So it's just, they're just asking us if we could paint more stall for them to park, and assign some of those stalls just for the library only and not for the teachers to park.
I mean, would they provide the signage for that, or what's? I mean,
So I told them that we can work that out later, but since it's governed by the state statute, we're gonna need your permission to say yes or no before we get to that point. You know.
I mean, that's the way people park, whether the state statute says it or not.
Yeah, and the problem, Mike and I talk, and we just, you can pass that ordinance if there's enough room to safely back in and out, right, Mike? If there's enough, it's not gonna block the the way of traffic. Like, you know, if you, has to be enough room for people to angle park plus the traffic flow.
Right.
Enough room for traffic to flow. And we just,
Does it work or
it's
not?
a little tight if you're gonna angle park on both sides, because right now they do both sides.
It's like, but it's also one-way traffic, right?
Right. And we're afraid that kids that, you know, when they get out, they're running between vehicles, and that's another one of our concern is
The safety factor.
yeah.
It is right now it's doable in there, but it's very congested. I mean, you have to, when you come around the corner, you have to go clear out and then come clear back in, which, like I said, it's doable, it's just not legal. So, I guess that's up to you guys, and I don't know the liability standpoint.
So what,
if you
yeah, that
allow
was
that.
my question.
I
What
was gonna
happens
say-
if something happens and?
I mean, that's above my, I mean, that's a Danny question.
So whether we, I guess from a liability standpoint, the way I see it anyways, is that people are gonna do it either way unless we start ticketing.
Well,
right.
but right now we have, I believe the lines were painted last year, angle parking, correct? Or 2 years
Yeah.
ago, whenever.
Yeah, and then we
So-
sealed and covered.
So they sealed them and covered them, so now they want the lines back there. So do you follow the law and paint the lines like they're supposed to be, or do you pass an ordinance to allow it?
I would say if, as far as, maybe Danny, our lawyer, could tell us this.
Yeah.
But I would say if there ever was an accident that happened there, whether we painted, I guess if you painted the lines, there would be even more of an argument. But even if you don't paint the lines, people park that way, and if you don't ticket it, you passively have said that it's okay.
Yeah.
So a lawyer's going to say, well, the city should be liable because for the last 10 years, they've allowed people to park this way. Whether you've painted the lines or not, there's going to be an argument for that. So the only way to not allow it is if we start ticketing it.
Right, but if you paint the lines and don't paint parallel lines, or if you paint parallel lines versus angle parking lines, then surely people would know that they got a parallel park and not angle park there.
Well, that's
So
why they
you
say
would think.
there's parallel parking only signs.
Right, right.
You know, so it's, the signage is there.
So can we, is there a limit to how angled an angled spot can be? I mean, can you fan them out?
I think there's rules on how to paint lines, correct? I mean, there's,
I just didn't know if you
Width and-
could you fan it a little more so that there is more space?
that's a legal question.
And
That's
there-
not a me question.
And people are parking on both sides now.
Yes.
Both sides of the road is
Yes.
tight. So if you put angle on one side and no parking on the other, and then ticket the side you put no parking on, does that?
But I think we still create the issue of not having enough parking.
Yeah.
I mean, 'cause
Yeah, that's
you're
gonna be-
eliminating parking on one whole side of the street versus allowing them to park on both sides of the street parallel.
Right now, we came up with, as total of starting down there, all the way at Pearl, coming around the corner, we came up with 16 regular and then 2 handicap in front of the library. That's what we come up, because looking at it, you have to stay so far away from the corner, you have to stay so far away a feet from the crosswalk, people's mailboxes, I mean, the alleys. So it's, I mean, you have so much that you gotta look at from KDOT or KDOT specs. And so we started looking at that, and then all 3 of us went down, and we just started measuring, and then we had to do all the math to figure it out. We came up with 16 regular spots and 2 handicap.
And they only need, that's all they need for handicap is 2?
Yeah, well, we don't have to do any, but we had to do, we did some there, and it came up to where the math was almost perfect, but we would have had a flat 5 feet there with nothing there. So we thought, why not just make that come on out just a little bit and have 2 handicap there
On both sides of the street?
on
Like
that
the,
side of the street.
the 16 stall, that's for both sides?
That's for both sides, all the way from that corner, all the way around.
And how many is there now with the way they're parking?
I don't know,
Oh,
since the
okay.
lines are gone, we never painted it back, cause I did not want to do that legal battle and then I mean, that was not my call.
And the school wants it what way? Angle parking both sides?
They want to create as many parking as possible for that one way.
I like the way it is, but I am not there during school time, so I don't understand the congestion. I just, you start getting people parallel parking, I don't know that helps congestion. If you got people backing in the slots and,
Well, it's not so much that is what's congesting, it's when you have the pickup times. I mean, at times we have people backed up clear on Pearl Street, like out into the street.
But is there ever a way that that's gonna go away though, just because of congestion? Like, is there any?
I mean, you could probably open up 2 lanes of traffic through there instead of 1, like it is now. I don't know. I mean, that would be the only thing, is if you allowed 2 lanes of traffic versus 1 lane now.
I feel like
To need
2 lane you have an increased risk because they're both going to be moving lanes, and then you got kids running in and out of moving lanes.
I mean, maybe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the city paid for an engineer to come down and do that at one time.
Be interesting.
How long ago was that?
I'm gonna say 10 or 12 years ago.
I was gonna say when Adam Saylor was the chief, I believe, when we did that, so.
Is that something that would be easy to find, or is it back in the boxes?
Let's say, is it paper? Do we have a digital copy of that somewhere?
I just remember him coming down and doing it.
Yeah.
So the issue when they're backed up, are they blocking the street when they're backed up?
Yeah, I mean, it gets pretty bad there, which it hasn't been as bad this year as it was last year. Yeah, last year was really bad, but this year hasn't been so bad. And usually during the winter time it gets worse because I think more kids don't ride their bike or walk to school.
Is it a 5-minute issue or is it a 30-minute issue?
30 minute.
Is it really?
Yeah, probably.
Can you just put a big X like they do in fire departments and say, do not block this intersection? So it's very apparent that they keep.
I mean, for the most part, they stop on Prairie between the 4 and 500 block and just kind of block that northbound lane is really what happens. So it kind of gets congested there. Every once in a while, you'll have a vehicle turn and stop in the middle of the intersection.
It probably will help when Fifth Street's open too, because
Yeah,
there'll be more backing up on Fifth, but.
possibly, yeah.
Seems like we're doing a lot of talking for laws that people know when they get a driver's license. You don't block intersections and
Yes.
you obey traffic signs.
And either way, I mean, I don't think it's an issue as long as you pass a resolution to say that they can do it that way so that it makes it legal. I mean, I think that's the only issue here. If that's how you guys want it left, then I think you need to pass a resolution so we're not allowing illegal parking.
I mean, I think.
I don't know if we're allowing anything.
Well,
You know
if
what
we
I mean?
paint the lines, I think you're allowing illegal parking, correct? I mean,
Yeah.
Without the resolution.
without the resolution,
Yeah.
correct.
Gets hit,
I'm-
come back on the scene.
I mean, I'm fine with passing the resolution and painting the lines. If it's the school that's requesting this, I mean, I feel like they know better than I do, at least, of the traffic flow and what they have going. And if they want parking in front of the library and the school, and it's from their administration that's saying it, then I'm okay with it. But I understand the liability, and if we're not comfortable as our police force or as the rest of the city, then that's fine. But
I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I mean, it's totally up to you guys. I'm just saying, from a legal standpoint, I think if you paint the lines and you don't pass a resolution,
yeah, I agree with that.
It's not. But,
I agree with that.
and as far as the legal side of it, I mean, that's on Danny.
Well, I guess my question is, do you think, is the angle parking on each side safer or safe? I mean, if we don't think that's safe, I wouldn't pass a resolution just because that's what people are doing.
Back into each other possibly. I mean, we could talk about this all night.
Sometimes the restriction in flow is safer because people will go 3 miles an hour instead of 10 when you open it up, and they go, oh, I can get to the intersection because it's free. But
Yeah,
I mean, you can go through hypotheticals all day.
Yeah, and I believe at one time there, which I don't know if you guys are going to put that crosswalk. There was a crosswalk right there in between it, but by the time the kids walk between the vehicles, I mean, you have about a little more width than a vehicle to get down the center of that thing. So you got kids coming by a angle parked vehicle into the middle of the street and then across it. That's the only dangerous point that I see. And that is right at the school, because that road narrows up right as you go around that corner and get in front of on the east side of the library. So that's a main congestion point right there.
When I was at the library, I did see a couple of close calls with people backing up and, so like you'd said, students walking in between the cars. And it can be dangerous, you know, depending on who's behind the wheel. But I have witnessed that when I was at the library, so.
So do you wanna think about it a little bit longer?
Do we wanna
Do
make a
you
decision tonight?
want-
Is
You
it,
don't have to, no.
is it dangerous because the street's not wide enough, or just dangerous because they're not crossing at the crosswalks, or not crossing at the
I think
intersections?
it was both. I think generally those, mainly because they didn't cross in the crosswalk.
So there's a crosswalk right in the center of that, between 4th and 5th on Monroe.
And the
There's
way
a
you-
crosswalk basically right in front of the library that
Right.
crosses the library across to the street.
And the way you guys measured out the spots, you spaced out the way KDOT wants you to, or recommends around something like that. I think that's probably.
We took this one out we took it out from the library front that goes across to the east and put that one that goes over there back in, that goes north and south from that corner up to the elementary. That way we could put another parallel one here,
Mhm.
so that way we get another one in there instead of worrying about this. There's no ramp there anyway, so we thought, why put it there when there was another one there that goes up to the ramp for the elementary?
And then
And then that way they could just go around to the front, go around to the four-way and just walk back that way if they needed to, or walk down that way and then come around that way.
And if you're following the state guidelines on this is how to lay out the spots, is how to space them away from intersections, crosswalks and that stuff, I think that's better.
We
They're
fought,
not
we
doing
got
anything.
on online, or the Google and looked
Yeah.
up the KDOT specs in Kansas and followed through with that.
Yeah, I think following those puts you in a better spot.
And I could go count the cars that are parked there tomorrow and see how many are parked, if that's what you want me to do, but.
Was your 16 including where there's concrete, where people pull in onto school
Nope.
property? So there's
So they can
nobody
also-
really
you mean
there.
in front of the playground?
Yeah,
Nope, they can also have those, that's not included,
that's
so they
not
don't
our
have all
16.
that.
So your 16 was basically just going
The
north
16
and
was
south
just,
on Monroe.
the 16, 17, 18 was just a parallel.
Hmm.
So they would still have all those.
Parallel or
angles.
angled?
The parallel.
Well, they don't,
Parallel
that's their
park?
pickup zone though. So originally, when they did that, you're supposed to pull over into that little angle, what used to be angle parking.
Yes.
You're supposed to pull in there, pick up your kid, drop your kid off, and then exit back out on the street. Is originally how that was set up.
Who enforces that? The school or you?
Enforces,
The pickup, the orderliness of that whole thing. So they make a rule and then they don't abide by it, but they think changing the parking is gonna correct it, right?
They don't wanna change how it is now, right? They wanna keep angle parking
Yeah, they
as
want
it
to
is
keep
now.
it, and they
Yeah,
want
they wanna-
they want us to paint the line just so people park like properly and create, because right now there's only like maybe there's no line right now, but before there was only 2. So they're asking us to paint more lines to create more parking. That's what they're asking us.
Well, if you wanna vote on it, let's vote on it.
We just went and marked it, the legal, what was supposed to be there through KDOT. And that's why we did the parallel parking spaces. That's what we counted up. We didn't do the angle one because that's not what's was supposed to be there.
Okay.
That's why we did not count those.
Oh, so there's 16 available spot if you
Parallel park, yes.
Only.
Oh,
Not angle, I didn't count angle ones, we counted parallel parking.
And that's why KDOT wants it done, correct?
per statute, that's.
Per
how-
statute,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
I think parallel's gonna be personally.
I can't parallel park, so.
I think that even if Angle congest the street and you have people walking between cars, I think parallel is more dangerous with kids walking around. And having to stop and then wait. Somebody doesn't see that you've stopped and want to back up and they're on your tail and you're trying to, I mean, I just think that's gonna cause way more headaches than the way it is now.
To me, I just think it's odd, cause I've driven by, I haven't experienced going through there. But school has no teachers out there watching the kids, they just turn them loose and
I
thank
think
God
there's-
that they don't get hit.
I think there's some teachers that
Yeah,
stand
they
up.
stand in there.
Okay, so we got some adult supervision. And the
Yeah.
rest of it, if they can't parallel park, well, they better not get on that side of the street or they're gonna be going around the block, right?
Yeah.
So,
I think the parking is mainly used for the teachers. Right? Yeah, I think I'm correct in saying that.
no, it's not for the parents
It's
or
not for the parents.
people
The
at the
parents pull up
library.
there,
Parents
they
are only in the
pick up their
pickup
kids, and then they drive off.
When there was parallel, not parallel, but angled parking, there was a stall that I believe there's still a sign there that says library parking only, and then from that point on, it was always library only. And then there was, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 angled stalls for the teachers to park in, and then there was that on the other side. As long as the library has spots for their patrons, regardless whether it's parallel or angled, I think the library will be satisfied. Of course, the library doesn't always get a lot of patrons coming in there, during the school day. It's not like it's completely crowded.
Because in front of the library, there was 2 regular, 2 handicap, and 2 regular. That's the way it came out.
I don't know what the consent of the council is, but there's nothing to vote on as far as an ordinance yet. You just need to know if we want you
To draft
and
out,
Danny to
yeah,
draft an ordinance.
yes.
I mean, I would be in
Make
consent.
a motion.
Well, we don't
to
have
do
a
it.
motion,
Oh,
we
just
should
Or not.
consent to draw up an ordinance or not. But I'm fine with drawing up the ordinance and then we'd have something to vote on next meeting or.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't paint any lines, don't change anything until the ordinance is in place or not in place if we vote against it.
And naturally, it would be legally sound, correct, Danny?
And if Danny comes back and says we absolutely should not do it, then there you go. But
Sounds like a plan.
I'm just visual, so I need to see it to wrap my head around what.
Yeah, they were, Cleveland or somebody said there wasn't gonna be school up on the 17th or something, so we were trying to plan on doing downtown on the 16th and then maybe get over there on the 17th. So, we don't even have to worry about it for a while.
Is there any activity on school parking? Other
For what?
consent to draw up the ordinance?
Sounded like it, yes.
Okay, moving on. Go ahead.
So the other things that I have is, do you guys have any objection as far as us buying more AB3s for the alleys? On my report at the very last page, I kind of laid it out for you guys that I would like to request $20,000 to get the AB3s and then the other 10 for sand to put in the playground, and then I will bring a quote for mulch at the next meeting so that way we can fill those pits. It's getting pretty low.
Pat Brown.
Yes.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
It needs to be done.
So still leave. I know that I talked to Jason a little bit, and he's still kind of finishing up street work, patchings and stuff like that. That still leave him about I don't know, 20,000 to get more material if he needed it. I know he does some cold patches in the winter, so if he needs to get more, there's money for that. But our alleys really need attention. So.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Do it.
Need a motion?
Don't smile like that.
A lot of rock.
No, I mean it's still fall within the scope of street work. I just want to if you guys have any objection,
No
that's why I
objection
put it
here.
up here,
No.
so,
Move forward.
Get your law.
yeah. So, other than that, I don't have anything, unless you guys have any questions.
Council, got any question for the clerk? Moving on, Danny.
I don't have a whole lot since the last meeting. I got the documents to EVH for the generator project, and it looks like it's just in time for that to not go anywhere for a while.
Yeah, the government shutdown kind of put a hold on that project, so.
Council, got anything to talk to Danny about?
Is it still moving forward for the church?
You know, I just thought about that. I need to call Mr. Wentz and have a chat with him. He didn't respond to the letter that I sent him, but it's October now, so.
Yeah, getting close.
Cause it was October 15th, was it? Or
I can't
Yes,
remember
it's
what.
October
Fifth or
1st.
seventh, I saw.
Yeah, I think it's
that
the
it was gonna be
first.
deeded over to the land
Yeah.
bank?
Yeah.
He did shut the utility off, last week at that place, so.
Yeah, so I'll give him a call and
Okay.
see what we need to get done.
Old business, Fifth Street, any updates on it, or you wanna talk about it? Looks like they're
Making
got the curb
progress.
down,
Yeah.
making some progress.
Do you have any update on? Let's say, do they have any update on what they're looking like for schedule there?
Well, yeah,
And
they
then-
say they're still trying to get there.
Did they say?
Keep dumping water.
Yeah. Did they say when once they pour the concrete, if it has to sit X amount of days before traffic?
They haven't told me, but it will be.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Anything else on the fountain? Water well testing,
You tell us, Bob, what's going on with water well testing?
well, we're
Drop
still
that like
waiting
a
on,
bad habit.
get orders to, or getting stuff put together. It's rained there and we can't get in there, it was raining. That and the drilling company's tied up tight. Just like everybody else ain't got no help, they only move so fast.
Are you keeping the pressure on them? I mean, squeaking
Yeah,
wheel
we're-
gets the
we're-
grease.
Keeping in the loop.
You think we'll get to it this
I'm
year?
hoping to get it before winter time here.
Okay.
I'm trying. You're depending on somebody else. New business, I need to make a motion to adopt,
We're
ordinance.
at the seal bid right now.
Or I mean, we can do the ordinance.
We'll put that right
Oh,
there.
okay, that's fine. You can do that first. I don't mind.
Any motion to adopt, ordinance number 110125 about the golf course.
You have anything to add?
No, so the ordinance 1097 is the ordinance to adopt the standard traffic
Yep.
that we use throughout the state. So
And then Article 17 of that's headlights, lamps,
Yes.
equipment on motor vehicles. And so just cited that statute saying they've got to have headlights, taillights, and the equipment required by
Is
that
this-
section.
Does this ordinance negate the old ordinance?
It, the last part, it repeals the part of the prior ordinance, and then it was 14601 little b, which is
Okay.
what we're replacing that, the part that used to say no golf carts,
Oh, okay,
between sunset and sunrise.
gotcha. I'd make a motion to approve ordinance number 1101-25.
Motion
Second.
on the table by Aaron Gleason, second by Aaron Raines.
Correct.
Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0. Okay, we got sealed bids on roll-off containers.
So we got two bids, one from Nicely and one from Stoneways. This is from Nicely and it is $395 per dump. And the disposable fee is $42 per ton. That's for Nicely. And Stoneways, excuse me. It is $210 per pole, which per dump. Twice a month is $420. The landfill fee is $42 per ton. So,
Stone was doing it as a pass-through through Hunter before, right?
yes,
Have any issues with them before?
no.
I'd make a motion to accept the bid from Stone Waste Management, to go into our agreement for the roll-off dumpster at $200 per dump at $42 a ton.
Second.
Got a motion on the table by Aaron Gleason, second by Aaron Raines. Any more discussion? I think it was 210 per dump.
Or what did I say?
200, didn't he?
No.
Yeah, you said 200
Oh.
per dump.
210, sorry.
And 420
And $42 a ton.
for 2 dumps. 420. Must have got a little bit.
Yeah, you got
210
it
per
right.
dump, 420 for twice a
For
month.
twice a month,
Yeah.
yes.
And $42.
So we have some sort of contract or agreement for length of time
We
and like
probably
rate.
need to draft up a contract to see if you want it to be a yearly contract where we look at every year, or a 3-year contract, or a 5-year
How did you
contract.
advertise it?
That I don't know.
Was
I'll
there
have to
not
go look. I don't think I put the length of
Did they put
time
a
in
length
there.
on their bids? I guess I thought it was the same sort of franchise agreement as the waste.
Yeah, no, because before it's just, it falls under our trash contract, so it's the same. Nope, they didn't put the length of the contract on here, so that's up to you guys as far as you want
Well,
to
I
be a
mean-
yearly thing or.
Both for us and for them, I guess, if the landfill rates go skyrocket, I mean, how long can we hold them to $42 a ton?
Do you want us to maybe draft up a contract that would like state the amount of time plus the landfill fees, as far as like how much, like kind of like the trash contract where we capped out how much they can raise?
I guess I don't know.
Or just do the
I
time?
think we should ask them what they're comfortable with. I mean,
Okay.
they'll fix those rates for as long as possible.
for a
They're not
year.
gonna go down, so as long as the longer they wanna fix them, the better probably
Yeah.
for us. But I don't know what they're comfortable with.
Yes.
It'd be nicer to go longer than year to year, I guess, at least
Yeah,
every
Keep it on
other.
the same as the other.
Or yeah, we could do, I mean,
So
If
5
they're willing to do
years.
those rates for that amount of time.
Okay,
yeah, they
yeah.
might
But
not for
so I
that.
don't know how much landfill rates fluctuate, but.
Okay, yep, I can do that, and then I will have a draft of the contract with all those information for the next meeting, and you guys can vote on it.
Do you need to send that, get him to see if that's gonna be agreeable to him?
So I'm gonna talk to him as far as like the fixed rate, if he willing to stay at, if we sign a contract for 5 years with them, so.
Okay.
We need to vote on it. You guys make motions, but there's no vote.
He motioned it, I seconded it.
Yeah, we just need a vote.
Yeah, any
All
more
in favor?
discussion?
All opposed, pass the 5-0. We got a application license for cereal malt beverage license for the grocery store.
Yes.
I'd make a motion to accept the cereal malt beverage license for White's Food Liner.
Motion on the table, here a second. Second by Mark Bryant, motion by Aaron Gleason. All in favor? All opposed, that's 5-0. Moving on, window replacement at the city hall. I think there's 3 estimates.
I think I passed out and came back when I saw some of the estimate. I did not realize how expensive window replacements are. But, as you can see, we really need to do some work on our windows. Most company bid with Pellow's windows, but I was managed to find one that used different brand, just so I can kind of see the difference, you know. I didn't know how you guys would feel about replacing some of these windows.
I think we need to keep up on the maintenance of the building.
Yes.
I don't know to what extent, how much we do, or the stages, or,
We do have an option to break it down into the bottom and the top if you don't want to spend the money on it once. All three of those companies are willing to break that down.
I mean, I think it needs to be done, and however we decide it, I'm
Mhm.
okay with that.
Yeah. And these are like, I have them quote for like, you can't open them. Like, we don't ever open our windows. If we go with options of like adding blinds and ability to open and close, that costs more. It's $75, so I just opt out for non-open one piece of windows, like no special character or anything added to them. So.
Fire chief, how's that for a public building? Or I guess you just break this window, you need to get up, okay.
I mean, I don't know if every window needs to open, but I feel like you'd want at least a few if there's ever.
That's
You-
up to you, because
you
I was
have,
just trying to save some money.
You set your microwave for 30 minutes instead of 30 seconds, and the whole thing smells like smoke and fire. I mean, I feel like you're wanting a way to air out your space.
Yeah.
But,
That's fine.
Maybe not upstairs.
So,
Yeah,
and these are good for 30 days. So if you guys want to do a little bit, read through it a little bit better, you don't have to make a decision tonight.
yeah, I mean, the public lights are very expensive. But I know a lot of people use Pella because they're trusted.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of Provia, I don't know. Maybe they're good windows, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I know shouldn't matter because we gotta keep up on our maintenance, but I don't love the fact like we just changed water rates, electric rates, we just changed the trash service. People are not loving, everybody loving that. I don't love the like perception that we're gonna go upgrade our windows, and I know you can't neglect things, so
Right.
I think we need to wait. It's just
Just the optics of it. Yeah,
But-
that's fair.
There's been some people that have stated.
yeah,
exactly
there's
what you
people
said.
upset with all
Yeah.
three. Not upset, like
concern.
nobody
Yeah.
wants to be paying more than they have to,
Right.
and then we've kind of hit them, and then people are gonna drive by and think, "Oh, my city bill went up, and they're getting new windows."
Yeah. Yeah, the
And,
optics of it doesn't look good.
You can't neglect maintenance for those reasons either, because that's
Right.
partially why some of those rates have to go up so we can stay. But you could argue that windows are.
So are we looking at like maybe a year from now, 2 years from now? How are we? So
A
at
year.
least that way we
Look
can.
at it, like get everything you want, like the ones that you wanna be open, maybe do Pella on the bottom, the other one up on top. You know, or whatever, but,
Yeah.
so we know what we're getting into, maybe we can just budget for it next year. I mean, it's gotta get done,
Yeah.
Sure.
maybe just postpone it.
That's
Hey,
fine.
You guys okay with a year? Not knowing that we're gonna do the full or half or whatever.
I think a year, yeah.
That's fine.
Is that
Yeah.
good?
Yeah.
You get sleep tonight?
Oh yeah. No, either way, I'm fine with it. No, it's not the end.
Just kidding.
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
I
I'm
think
just
that's
shooting my shot. So.
I think that's a very good choice.
Okay.
Moving on, I think we covered the library parking
Yeah.
and the quote from Hot. I think we covered that, didn't we?
Mhm.
I'd entertain a 10-minute executive session for discuss employee evaluation. Council,
It's mine and Jason,
Yeah.
so you're if you want us in it, you can. If you don't, then just talk among yourselves. Bob have the evaluations.
That doesn't matter to me.
I make a motion to go into executive session to include, or excuse me, to discuss employee evaluations to include, mayor, city council, and attorney.
Second.
Got a motion on the table by Kyle and a second by Aaron Gleason. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0.
I'd make a motion based on the evaluation discussed in executive session to raise Jason White's raise $1 per hour to $33.
Second.
Motion on the table by Aaron Gleason, second by Mark Bryant. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0.
I'd make a motion based on the evaluations discussed in executive session to raise Pam Watson's hourly rate $1 to $29 per hour.
Second.
Got a motion on the table by Aaron Gleason, second by Mark Bryant. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0. Guys got anything else you wanna talk about, or if you don't, we'll,
I'd make a motion to adjourn regular council meeting October 7th, 2025.
Second.
motion on the table by Aaron Gleason, and second by Mark Bryant. Is that right?
Yes.
Oh, Aaron Raines. All in favor? All opposed? Council meeting's over.